Xavi Hernandez is slowly but surely putting together a system that can unravel deep-lying defenses. And in this video, we'll be taking a look at some of the tactics and how Joao Felix has been starring in this game. But before we get into all of that, please do subscribe to the channel, join the family as we grow together. We upload at least 3 times a week and we do tactical analysis on all the games. Xavi only made one change to the team at the weekend, with Gundogan replacing Oriol Romeo and Frenkie as the sole pivot, and Antwerp lined up as 4-2-3-1. In build-up, it was pretty obvious that Antwerp wanted to block down central progression as they were circling around Frenkie de Jong in order to get him out of the game. They were defending extremely narrow. However, we did see effort from de Jong as he tried to move around to be an option for Barcelona. He even went as far as to the sides. But later on, he did move in between the centre-backs in order to get on the ball, with using Xavi as a wall pass toward the right or the left centre-back to get Barcelona up the pitch. Xavi didn't want Frenkie to be so deep, so he used Xavi as a second pivot in order to help Frenkie de Jong. However, Antwerp were really adamant on blocking these guys. No matter where they went, they always tried to block the progression into them. Even if they were dropping like sideways to the one side, they were always blocking them. But that was the cue for Joao Cancelo to be inverting into the midfield earlier on into the 2-3-5 shape. However, Joao Felix was also lurking in behind, so these guys had to know how they were pressing. And Barcelona often used Joao Cancelo to get up the pitch with his dribbling skills and ability to find other players. In the early stages, Antwerp was surprisingly good, so Xavi had Frenkie de Jong in between the centre-backs, a pivot of Xavi and Joao Cancelo, and 5 players up top, the usual 3-2-5 shape. It morphed into a 2-3-5, but Xavi used a 3-2-5 shape as it was necessary. The left side of Barcelona has been very impressive the last 2 games between Felix and Alejandro Balde. Because in the build-up phase, I noticed that Alejandro Balde was actually having a very staggered position where he would receive the ball in the region over here, which left the right back in 2 minds. Do you cover Joao Felix and therefore leave space for Alejandro to run in behind? Or do you actually go out and press Alejandro Balde and then in turn leave space for Joao Felix to get in behind with, where he would receive the ball in this region right over here? So it's really been the opposite movements of these 2 players that are really destroying defenses right now. And also the presence of Joao Felix within the half space. We know how deadly he is or can be. He's actually drawing the opposition very, very narrow in order for Alejandro Balde to have all of the space for himself on that wing. He sometimes have it for himself, like most of the times. And let's not forget the fact that when teams go out to press Barcelona lately, we do see that Joao Felix is used as a decoy to get in behind or on the side of the midfield, where he can draw a lot of players out of position and leave all of this space in behind for Alejandro Balde. Maybe Balde needs Felix to go to the next level. There's slightly different tactics on Barcelona's right side, as the roles of Cancelo and Balde actually differs, where Joao Cancelo is actually more of an inverted fullback where Balde is overlapping, keeping Gundogan a lot higher in the half space up top. This keeps the fullback of the opposition a lot more narrow than he wants to be. So this is actually opening up space for Rafinha, and we know this obsession of Barcelona of overloading or building up towards the left side where they are circulating the ball. And this is where the tactic that overload to isolate comes into play for Barcelona, where they want Rafinha to receive the ball and take on his man in this area right here. But we know this doesn't suit Rafinha actually, as he's a different kind of winger. In the absence of Pedri, we have really seen that Xavi has really been operating very deep, where he would receive the ball and connect with everybody else. And I honestly feel that this role suits him a lot. However, we see this on both sides now for Barcelona, as when the ball is moving, players are now actually moving as well. And we do see that Cancelo on the other side is also somebody that are receiving the ball in these areas where he could affect the play. So this is what I've been saying all this time, to actually have these guys playing a lot deeper so that they can find these passes with players. But Barcelona did move into the 2-3-5 formation that they usually do. I want to point out the excellence of these three in between the lines, as they have been really good at moving the opposition. They are tasked of pinning back the opposition's half. However, even though both wings of Barcelona have different tactics, they all ensure that Barcelona always have these triangles on either side of the pitch, with Felix going out to help Xavi and Balde. However, towards the other side, we do see that Gundogan is doing the same, where Cancelo, Gundogan and Rafinha are also forming this triangle on either side. So different tactics, but the same principles for Barcelona. Pulling defenses out of order is also a great thing where the movement happens in the half space, where it leaves acres of space for Robert and Rafinha to take advantage of. But the same happens towards Joao Felix actually, where he goes out and there's acres of space in behind of him to be taken advantage of Balde and Robert Lewandowski. So it's really good movement from Barca. We've seen that Gundogan have been taking a lot more higher positions than Xavi actually, because we know Gundogan is a goal threat as well. So Xavi actually wants him to end up in the box where he could also get on the ball. And you saw that he was not involved in the build-up at all, because he stayed high, because that was Xavi wants. Because of rotations, changes was bound to happen, as we noticed that when Xavi went off, it was Gundogan that actually took up these deeper positions. And Varane and Fermin was actually our free aids. However, unlike Joao Felix and Gundogan, they didn't stay high and try to pin back the opposition. They were actually playing a lot more deeper to get involved, as Xavi probably wanted to secure this game now, where these guys are moving in between the lines a lot closer to the midfield. However, we did see that Varane was also dropping extremely deep like a number 10, trying to get involved in the game, and he was also used to switch the ball. However, the sting was already out of the game, and nothing changed really in the second half when those changes were made. But in the end, it was a dominating display from FC Barcelona, as Barcelona pick up their first Champions League points of the season. However, do let me know what you think about the game and the tactics. Drop your comments as always. Do subscribe to the channel, as we upload at least 3 times a week. And we do tactical analysis on all games. So thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.